Hey guys, it's me, Anthony, and on today's episode of Epic Wildlife, we're going to talk about creepy insects, freakish mammals, and everything in between. Here are 10 of the most unusual animals that are hard to believe are actually real. Number 10. Creatonotos Gangis. The Creatonotos Gangis is a type of extremely bizarre moth found primarily in Southeast Asia and Australia, and particularly in Thailand. But these are no ordinary moths. They have white wings and a red abdomen, and what appear to be disgusting tentacles sticking out of their rear end. This is undoubtedly the most disgusting moth on the planet. It is freaky and hard to believe unless you saw it for yourself. The moth has 6 legs, 2 antennae, and 4 hairy tentacles sprouting from out of its butt. According to experts, the nasty tentacles sticking out from the moth's abdomen are actually scent glands, and apparently the moth uses its furry scent glands to try and attract a mate. However, it mostly looks like some kind of freakish alien moth hybrid waiting to lay its eggs in your stomach so that you can turn into a tentacle monster. Most of the time, the scent glands are actually deflated, so you would hardly even notice them. But when they decide to attract a mate, the moth's tentacles get out of control. If you were not scared of moths or butterflies before, I'll guarantee you would be if you came face to face with this unbelievable creature. Number 9. Sparklemuffin. You would hardly believe that there's a spider skulking around the forests of Australia named the Sparklemuffin, but there very much is, even if it wasn't discovered until 2015. This is an extremely elusive spider, and it looks incredibly bizarre. It is one of Australia's many peacock spiders, named so because of their bright peacock colours. But the spider's odd shape, grey and black legs, and beady yellow eyes make it even stranger than normal. The spider itself is only 5 millimeters long, but it is larger than life weird. It looks more like a character from a cartoon than a real spider. It even has what appears to be a strange hat sitting on the end of its abdomen. This is definitely the only adorable spider that you would not jump up in fear of. The first peacock spider was found in the 1800s, according to a published scientific report in 2015. But after their initial discovery, nobody took a look at these arachnids for roughly 100 years. Now there are new peacock spiders being discovered all the time, like the Skeletoris, which was found about the same time as the Sparklemuffin. Have you ever seen anything like this? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Number 8. Axolotl. No list of unusual creatures is complete without a weird amphibian. Let me introduce you to the axolotl, a native to the lakes and canals surrounding Mexico City. This little Mexican amphibian was once an important food source for the Aztec people. However, since then their numbers have dwindled dramatically because of habitat loss, and they are now facing imminent extinction. What makes this animal so unique and strange is the way it looks. With its weird tentacle-like protrusions sticking out from the sides of its head, it's like weird fuzzy ears. Axolotl can grow to be up to 18 inches in length and are pretty magnificent animals. In fact, this animal has a superpower. It is able to regrow lost limbs completely. If you were to chop off this amphibian's arm, he would simply grow it back as if it was no big deal. Axolotls are a type of salamander, but they only recently evolved. Because of this, they look very strange. They are way behind us on the evolutionary chain. The fuzzy ears growing out from their head are actually gills, and they allow this weird salamander to stay in the water for its entire life. Interestingly enough, even though the axolotl is facing extinction in the wild, it is one of the most traded reptiles in captivity. There are many more of them in aquariums and cages across the world than there are in their native habitat. So, even if they go extinct in the wild, chances are captive breeding will keep these species alive. Number 7. Naked mole rat. The naked mole rat is one of the most unnatural and weird animals around today. It does not look like it has any business being anywhere on our planet. The naked mole rat is extremely common in East Africa, living happily in the dry grasslands of Somalia, Ethiopia, and Kenya. But this unusual animal has confused scientists for years because of its bizarre biological traits. Unlike most rodents, naked mole rats are able to live up to 32 years. Naked mole rats live longer than dogs, cats, and even some people. Naked mole rats are completely resistant to cancer, and they can live in harsh environments with almost zero oxygen. They are one of the most rugged survival creatures on the earth, and I doubt if they will ever go extinct anytime soon. What makes naked mole rats so unbelievable is their nudity. They look like underdeveloped kittens with no fur and massive teeth. And speaking about their teeth, a naked mole rat is able to move its front teeth separately as if it were using chopsticks. Imagine being able to move each of your teeth individually. It's unbelievable. Number 6. Alligator Gar. Some people think the only dinosaurs currently walking the earth are alligators, crocodiles, tortoises, and Komodo dragons. But there are many other species of animal that date back hundreds of millions of years and have been thriving on the planet ever since. One of these crazy animals is the alligator gar, which is a bizarre fish and alligator hybrid dating back to about 100 million years ago. The fish comes equipped with a grotesque alligator nose, sharp rows of alligator teeth, and it actually prefers to breathe air even though it's a fish. This is an incredibly unique animal, not only as a fish, but as a living creature. And even though the alligator gar looks terrifying with its huge snout and sharp teeth, they are supposedly very docile creatures. They spend most of their time swimming casually through the rivers and lakes in the south, all the way from the Rio Grande to the Missouri River. Fun fact, according to How Stuff Works, alligator gars are actually the largest living species of gar in the world, which is pretty impressive considering there are 7 different species. They can grow to be up to 350 pounds, and if you were wondering, they have no biological relation at all to alligators. Number 5. The pangolin. Pangolins are one of the coolest and most unusual animals on the planet. If you have ever seen a pangolin before, you would think it were a Pokemon. Pangolins are the only mammals on Earth born with scales. These mammals actually have plated armor over their bodies, and they live primarily in Central Africa and West Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. They even act like Pokemon when threatened, curling into a defensive ball whenever predators get too close. When they curl into a ball, they are pretty well protected by their armor coating, looking more like a cannonball than an animal. It should be known that pangolins, as strange and unusual as they are one of the most illegally trafficked animals in the entire world for their scales, especially in Asia, where some believe their scales have medical powers. It's a shame, because pangolins are some of the cutest and most unusual animals that most people have never heard of, looking like an armored anteater, and they are on the verge of extinction due to poaching. Number 4. Lowland streaked Tenrec. Meet the Lowland streaked Tenrec, the only animal that looks like a rat mixed with a caterpillar. These are the most unusual insectivores in the world, and they live peacefully on the island of Madagascar. I know I compared them to a rat and a caterpillar, but they more closely resemble the mix between a shrew and a hedgehog. The Tenrec has an extremely long snout and spiky spines all over its coat. It uses its spines to stay safe from predators, mostly from mongoose. Whenever something gets too close and puts its nose or its paws on the Tenrec, the predator gets an unwelcome surprise of sharp needles. What makes this lowland streaked Tenrec so bizarre and unbelievable is its tiny stature and weird coloring. It has black fur, black eyes, and jagged yellow needles sticking out of its head. This is definitely one of the stranger insect eaters roaming throughout the underbrush, and they only live for about 2.5 years. Number 3. Proboscis Monkey. Everyone knows that humans and monkeys look pretty similar, but there is something truly unnerving about looking into the face of the Proboscis Monkey. It looks like a human person, but with big bushy eyebrows and a big bulbous nose. You would never believe that this strange monkey was real unless you saw one firsthand. They have whitish orange fur and very leathery orange faces with eyes that seem way too human, and one of the biggest noses in the animal kingdom. The Malay name for these monkeys is Orange Belinda, which translates to Dutchman. This is supposedly because the monkeys reminded the locals of Borneo of the first Dutchmen who arrived in their country because of their fat bellies and large noses. They reminded them of pot-bellied European settlers. You can find the proboscis monkey lounging around in Borneo in mangrove forests. They eat only unripe fruit and grow to be about 50 pounds. That is pretty big for a tree-swinging monkey. The reason they only eat unripe fruit is because the sugar in normal fruit will ferment inside their stomach and could cause them to bloat to such a point that it becomes fatal. Talk about a sugar-free diet. Number 2. Red-lipped batfish. How would you feel about a fish wearing lipstick? It doesn't quite seem real, but the red-lipped batfish looks like it's going out on a Saturday night date. It has the reddest lips you have ever seen on any fish. It is also one of the most unusual fish living in the ocean right now. It kinda looks like a flying saucer with its landing gear down, and it also kinda looks like a weird crabfish hybrid. And besides that, the red-lipped batfish always seems to be frowning. It's hard to believe this fish exists, but it does, and it lives in the deep waters near the Galapagos Islands off the coast of Ecuador. The fish itself is only about the size of a burrito, but its lips are unusually large and bright red. They almost look like a pair of melted Twizzlers. Besides that, the fish can barely even swim. It has pectoral fins and pelvic fins, but it only uses them to scuttle awkwardly across the ocean floor. If anything, the red-lipped batfish appears to be a mistake that happened somewhere along the evolutionary line. Number 1. Wolf cat. Yes, werewolves do exist, but not in the way that you think. The lycoid cat, also known as the werewolf cat or the wolf cat, are real-world werewolves. They look exactly like a werewolf in the middle of its transition. According to a report by Feline Living, this appearance is because of a random mutation passed down through feral cats and continued with selective breeding. The wolf cat is actually not related to wolves at all, although they do look particularly grisly. Wolf cats have extremely vivid and yellow eyes, pointy ears, and a long wolf-like nose. They are also rare in that they have a mix of short white hairs, black fur, and patterned balding, so they look almost like a mix between a sphinx and a wolf. While not recognized as a breed just yet, lycoid cats are on their way to being in it as a real cat breed. One thing is for sure, you would never expect a wolf cat to really exist. Which of these animals is the hardest to believe actually lives in the real world? Tell me in the comments below, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time for another amazing video of epic wildlife.